I don't really know how to begin this one. Normally I would say, hey gang, it's Kevin here, Life22. But this one's more of a happy 70th birthday to my late father. So he died at 67. Alcohol took him. I found him dead on the floor in his apartment above the duplex of my house. I wished him a happy birthday, I think last year, and the audio didn't pick up in it. I said a lot of like very meaningful things, and you didn't hear any bit of it. If you watched the audio for the video, you probably would have saw me like sobbing and talking, and it was high quality video and no audio. So I'm left to miss because I can't even reminisce on what I said to him during that time period, but it was heartfelt. And I thought to myself, like, man, I can't believe I'm coming like unglued to the world and laying myself out so vulnerable to a group of people that like don't even comment on my YouTube channel. Like, so, but yeah, no, you would have been 70 today, Dad. And you, God damn, you were a pain in my ass. Every day, think about how you influenced my life and how I am the way I am because of you. You know what? Fuck it. I think my kids are thinking the same fucking thing right now, man. I just that double-edged sword between tyranny and love, right? Like, trying to like hold on to sanity and fighting with mental instability, which I'm sure we all are to a degree, but I mean, you just had a way with mental instability, and I don't think I could achieve the feats, the Everest of mental instability that you had. To put that in a very like, that's a very, if you my father, that's a very Brian Doherty thing to say. He was one of those guys that would compliment you and then make you question the fact that you just got complimented, which was more like you might as well have just got like bent over. Like, it just, his compliments were very backhanded. So but you were instrumental in the kids' life. Lachlan and Lennox still talk about you. Quinn references you. The kids were old enough to know any better, like Miley don't. You know, they know that you were spiraling out of control. So your example led me to join Sober October every year. I can't deny that. And I'm actually, it's like 3 times a week I think to myself, man, I should never drink again. And it's you I have to thank for that. So your burdens became my blessing. It's tough because I fucking miss you. Even though like you were just always such a cock. Every time I'd see you, you'd say something fucking drab and I just wanted to punch you in your face. And I restrained from that. You ended up punching yourself in the face, and we're the ones who had to pick up the pieces every freaking time. And I don't know what to do about it. Because you were my dad, and it doesn't matter how much of a piece of shit you were. Like, I don't know if it's your genetics, the way you raised me, but I, like, always could find the lesson. I could always find the moral of the story whenever you like did something. You forced me to be creative when it came to being like, when you became like an absolute horrendous person to be around, and I could find the greater silver lining amongst it. And I don't know if that was, I know all of it, as much as you were living with the biggest God complex I've ever fucking seen on a human being. I know that you didn't design that. It wasn't all your design. But maybe that level of intelligence that you bestowed upon your children that you had and couldn't control, and so you just assume was like, the finger of God who touched you. Maybe that bestowed upon us the ability to see that your car wreck of imbalance, that we I don't know, we could just, maybe that was the blessing that you bestowed upon us. And I'll take that. I'll take that, because to sum up the last 20 years, 30 years was, 25 years. I'll give you that. I'll give you credit on that. To sum all that up with Father knows best, I don't know. It's tough to say, but even with your follies, you made me a better dad, because I could see how I shouldn't be, and there were certain instances that I should see how I should be, and lead by example. And as much as you were a pain in my ass, you were still my father. You were still a good dad. You wanted what's best for your children. You would have died for that. If other certain demons hadn't taken you first, you would have died for that. You had your lists that you would ramble out that were just nonsensical meanderings of your own mind, but we miss you. The kids miss you. Would have been nice to sit down and have a drink with you on your 70th birthday. Instead, you left. You always told us that emotions were for weaklings. And I think it was really because you just were ill-prepared to handle emotions. A kid raised by two people from the Great Depression who, if you met my grandparents, you would understand that emotions were the furthest things from their minds. They didn't know what emotions were. So emotions were happy, sad. That was it. They didn't have any other emotions than that. And they bestowed that upon my father. Well, he just took it from there. But emotional intelligence is a great thing, and I will further teach my children that without making them pussies, as you would call them, Father. I want my kids to be aware of their surroundings. I want them to not be manipulated by other people. Because you were easily manipulated if somebody came at you from an emotional standpoint. My kids won't be manipulated like that because, well, you taught me that. And I'm appreciative of it. But no, a lot of your emotional turmoil started when you got divorced. And I'm not blaming Mom for that. I mean, in part, everyone's to blame for a divorce, right? But you were to blame as well because you had no emotional intelligence, and you couldn't deal with any of that. And I couldn't deal with the emotional needs that come along with the marriage. Marriages are tough. They're tough, and when you ignore your emotions, all hell breaks loose. So I don't know what to say to that regard, except for the fact that it did you in. Because then your new marriage began with alcohol, and then, well, your lifelong tryst with alcohol turned into your new marriage, and as you tried to cope with the loss of your previous marriage, and 25 years later it did you in, and I regret that. I wish that I could have done more for you. I blame myself, as most people do, and I've been told by others around me that I shouldn't blame myself. But, if I don't blame myself, then how am I going to grow as a human being? So the rest of them can go get fucked. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to blame myself, because I'm going to sit in this turmoil too, thinking about how I should be sitting here with you today. As much as you call me a pussy for drinking June's drink, but we still in the land of the living. Love you. No matter how much shit you caused us, no matter how much your nonsense weighed on the rest of us. And the burden was lifted when you died, but because we didn't have to babysit your ass anymore. But I still rather have you back. I don't think my wife would agree, but the kids miss you, and I miss you. So you also yell at me for airing my dirty laundry on the internet, as you used to do all the time. Kevin, you're an idiot for fucking having your podcast. We all need an outlet, Dad. Yours was staring, yelling at yourself, yelling at your own reflection at Fox News Network in your retirement age, which was earlier than most, because you were also very lazy. But me and the kids miss you. June doesn't say it, but I'm sure I'm lying when I say that she misses you too. Happy 70th. Happy 70th, Dad.